PAX East happened last weekend, and it was a really awesome event. If you're not familiar with what PAX East is, it's basically just like a really big gaming convention. And when you hear gaming, you might think just video games, but no, actually a lot of different kinds of gaming are represented at this event. And by other types of gaming, I mean things like tabletop games, tabletop RPGs, card games. They had board games, like any kind of gaming you could ever think of. There was some kind of vendor or some kind of booth that was dedicated to that. Now, I'm not personally into like the tabletop stuff or like the board game stuff, but they had a lot of really cool stuff. There was one vendor that had custom tabletop game like tables. You could buy these tables and they had like slide out sections. You could like open them up to play different kinds of games. So if you're really into like Warhammer, you could open it up into like a Warhammer field. Or if you're really into card games, you can open it up into certain ways where you could have, spots for your cards, and you could play like the Pokemon trading card game or like Magic the Gathering or anything like that. It was actually really awesome to see all these different vendors. I even saw one that I guess it's kind of like a pin collecting and card game in one. It was a new thing that they had just gotten funded on Kickstarter, they said. And basically you have like this lanyard or like this thing goes around your neck and you put the pins on it. And it had cards where the cards had like different stats for the characters, and you could just walk up to a random person that also had this on and just initiate like a battle with them, and then you could trade cards or pins. It's just like really cool stuff there. Now, this was my first time going to a PAX East event, so I was pretty nervous going in, and actually it was really my first convention in general, so I had no idea what to expect. But the moment I started going down those escalators to the main like expo hall, man, I could see all of the vendors, all the booths, all the people walking around. It was absolutely wild. I got there at about 11 a.m. and got my badge and walked into the expo hall, and it turned out that same day that I was there, Bob and Wood from the Nintendo podcast were doing a meet and greet and a signing. So I went to the meet and greet, got to meet Bob and Wood. They were just some of the nicest people ever. I told them about how nervous I was to meet them and how nervous I was to be at this PAX East event. I've never been to something like this before, but they were the sweetest guys ever. They signed my 3DS and I got a few pictures with them, and it was just really great. And after that, I went and got some lunch, and as I'm sitting there eating, who sits at the table right in front of me? Xeon from Nintendo Life. Now, after I ate, I went up and approached him, basically interrupted this guy's meal. And when I said hi, he actually immediately recognized me from a reply to one of his tweets. He stood up, shook my hand, and they talked to me for like 15 or 20 minutes. He was there with Austin, who writes for the Nintendo Life website. They were both the nicest people, and it was like talking to someone that I had known already, but just hadn't seen in a while and was just catching up. And after talking to Xeon and Austin for a little bit, I had him sign my 3DS as well, because he was really the reason that I brought the 3DS in the first place. He's trying to champion this Bring Your 3DS Everywhere in 2023 thing, where he wants everyone to bring their 3DSs everywhere they go so we can get street passes, and I think it's a really great thing. So I actually got his street pass, he got mine, and I had him sign my 3DS. I just, I had to. I went off and met with my favorite Twitch streamer and good friend for nearly 20 years, Is It The Shoes. We walked around, had a ton of fun. We were there basically until they closed the expo hall, and then I went on my way home. And I just have to say, it was one of the best events that I've really ever been to, and I have to thank Is It The Shoes for even going, because I saw his tweet that he had bought tickets for Friday, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go too. So I went ahead and I bought tickets, got the time off, and then met them there, and it was one of the best events that I've ever been to. And I'd say if you have the opportunity to go to a PAX East event, or if there's a PAX event not in the East, maybe closer to where you are, I would absolutely go. It's so much fun. There's so much there. And I was talking to my buddy, and next year we decided to go at least 2 days. I may even go all 4 days next year. Not sure yet, but definitely let you guys know. And if you're interested in seeing that kind of content, go ahead and click here and you can subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.